All right. Very warm welcome, everybody. I'm doing an experiment today of also sharing the practice on Instagram. So everybody on Instagram, also welcome. I'm keeping my video off because it's a meditation practice, so you don't really have to see my face. Welcome to everybody on Zoom. Welcome to everybody on YouTube. Welcome to everybody on Instagram. Let's see how we can handle 3 platforms at once. The way to handle it is by not trying to handle it. So today's practice is going to be a little different. For those of you who are joining for the first time, some of you on Instagram might be joining for the first time. This is something I've been doing for, I think, over a month now. It began when a friend of ours from the community suddenly passed away, and we had a kind of I was inspired to have a kind of prayer meeting where we just chanted and meditated and wished well for her and her family. And then it just kind of continued since then, pretty much. So I thought one of the best things I can do is just to create a space at 10:30 p.m. India time and just meditate and or some other practice, whatever comes, for anywhere from half an hour to an hour, typically it goes. So some of you have been joining very diligently every day, and some of you watch the recordings. So welcome, whether you're here for the first time or you've been attending regularly, warm welcome. Today's practice is invoking Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche is also called Padmasambhava. Padmasambhava is the name of a great Indian yogi who went to Tibet and he spread the Dharma there. To me, he's a very multidimensional personality because he's not only a great... something happening to the sound. 1 second. Let's check. You can't hear me well. Give me a second. Yeah. Something's up with my microphone. Crackling sound. Let me know if it's better now on Zoom. If you can hear me better. Yeah, better. Okay, good. Yeah, there was a little loose connection with my microphone. All right, so crackling sound just means that Padmasambhava has arrived. Guru Rinpoche. There has to be some, if such a powerful presence arrives, there has to be something that happens, right? So you're not able to see me because my video is off. You're supposed to see yourself in meditation, not me, but you get distracted by my wonderful face. So today's practice is about Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche is Padmasambhava. Padmasambhava, the great master, great yogi who went to Tibet and he spread the Dharma there. And what's powerful about Guru Rinpoche is that he's very multidimensional. He is a great leader. He's a great spiritual master. He's a great understanding of, he had a great understanding of esoteric wisdom, esoteric knowledge. So he holds many, many great powers. In fact, in Tibet, he's called the second Buddha. And while I've had a relationship in a way with him since my time as a monk, but it really got strengthened when I went to Bhutan. I've taken a group to Bhutan and we went to various parts of Bhutan, including the Tiger's Nest Monastery. Some of you might have been to Tiger's Nest. It's one of the most stunning places on the planet. You should look up a picture on Google Images if you haven't seen Tiger's Nest Monastery. And something about Bhutan, without even trying, Padmasambhava mantra just got ignited in me. I just kept chanting, Ong Ahong Beng Guru Padma Siddhi Hong. So that just kept going. And today I was talking to someone and again I was reminded of Padmasambhava. So I said, this is good. Let's invoke Padmasambhava's blessings for today's practice. So buckle in, whether you're seated or lying down, your eyes are open or closed. Let's get going with today's practice. So just invoking the presence and the blessings and the guidance of Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava. In Sanskrit, his mantra is Ong Ahong Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hong, which the Tibetans have a different way of pronouncing. Ong Ahong Bengza Guru Padma Siddhi Hong. And Guru Rinpoche he's the tamer of demons. That's one of his qualities. He tames demons. We all have our inner demons, isn't it? So now Guru Rinpoche has arrived. He doesn't tame demons. Interestingly, he doesn't tame them by defeating them. He tames them by giving them a new job profile. For these demons, you cut off one head, the new head appears. So Padmasambhava is far too wise for that. He's not here to kill your demons. He's here to give a purpose to your demons. Make them your bodyguards. Make them your dharma protectors. When he went to Tibet, they already had an established religion, the Bon religion. And instead of trying to convince the Bon people of how they were wrong and Buddhism was greater, he didn't do any of that. He instead deeply honored the Bon religion. And he said all their deities are the dharma protector deities. They're actually here to protect the dharma. Of course, there were some rowdy deities which he had to subdue by his great psychic powers. But most of the deities, he assigned them the new role of being dharma protectors. That's just brilliant. So it was a beautiful amalgamation. And the Bon tradition is just as alive now as the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. There's a great wisdom in the Bon tradition as well. All right, just come to your heart space and just feel this very unique, very electric vibration of Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche. Padmasambhava is not one of the docile deities. He's a force to be reckoned with. He's the living presence of full spectrum enlightenment. Just to think of him, just to invoke him itself is a great blessing. It's almost like you and I think we are invoking him. Actually, he's chosen to invoke us. He feels our time has come. It's so fascinating as I'm doing this right now, without even any intention. Both my hands have taken a very unique mudra. That for me is Padmasambhava in action. I don't even know what my fingers are doing right now. So in the same way, let Padmasambhava do with you what he wants to do with you. and we had a bit of a crash of Zoom, so I have to restart. So sorry about that. Let's keep going. I think technology is having a hard time keeping up with the vibration of Padmasambhava. How wonderful. So, invoking Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche, whether or not you know who that is, very powerful Dharma master, Dharma teacher, and more than that as well. Living embodiment of awakening. What's it like for the electricity of grace? Touch the top of your head, flood your whole being. What's it like for the electricity of grace to touch the top of your head and flood your whole being? Somebody had contacted me today and was sharing how she'd never even heard of Padmasambhava. And he came to her in a dream, showing her a rainbow-like bird, rainbow-like hummingbird. She's like, yeah, what does it mean? And the very next day, she saw a picture of a rainbow-like hummingbird. She was blown away. How is that possible? She sent me that beautiful picture. The hummingbird has great significance in spiritual traditions. It connects heaven and earth. It takes the nectar from every flower, connects heaven and earth. It's one of the only birds that can fly still the same spot. So it's flying, but it's still. It's moving, but it's still. A lot of great spiritual metaphors embedded in the hummingbird. The rainbow is reminding me of a time when I was teaching in Malaysia. And I was invited to give a talk at a particular temple. And they said, Nitya, just before you came, there was a Tibetan master who came here. He didn't speak any English. We had to translate everything he said. But wherever he went to give a talk, the remarkable thing was, in every single location that he went to give a talk, there was a big rainbow in the sky. It's almost like the inner the inner coherence of that Tibetan master was showing up in the outer world. And I found they gave me a CD of from his monastery chanting Om Mani Padme Hum. It's one of the most beautiful renditions of Om Mani Padme Hum that I've ever heard. And again, we're saying all of this just to keep your surface mind engaged. Your deeper mind is completely soaking in the grace and the electricity of Guru Rinpoche, Padmasambhava. You just have to be like a hummingbird. You just have to be like a rainbow-like hummingbird, open to all the colors of life, from the dark to the bright. Keep your attention on the heart again and again. I'd like you to ask a question. I'd like you to ask a question in your heart. And then don't go looking for an answer. Just be silent. Ask a question and then be in a kind of grateful silence. ask a question in your heart, and then be in a state of grateful silence. Don't go looking for a mental answer. This itself is quite a superpower. The ability to ask a question and not go looking for a mental answer, to then marinate in silence, a grateful silence. If you want to learn to awaken intuition, this might be the most powerful instruction I can give you. Marinate in grateful silence. I feel like reading some teachings from Padmasambhava. Padmasambhava also means the lotus born. The following teachings were written down by Lady Sogyal. Lady Sogyal was worried about death, which is quite a theme these days in our society as well. And this is the request she made to Padmasambhava. And even though she herself was quite an accomplished yogini, she requests Padmasambhava. Talking about herself, she says, "This old woman has no confidence about the time of death. I beseech you kindly, give me an instruction, condensing all teachings into one, an instruction which is concise and easy to practice." Out of his bountiful kindness and love, Guru Rinpoche taught her, delivering one of the most wonderful and concise oral teachings, also known as the refined essence of oral instructions. Although this teaching is a concise teaching, focused on the time of death, and therefore clearly for advanced students, particularly with its focus on the true nature of reality, of emptiness, of the dissolution and death process and completion, the teaching itself is resoundingly inspirational. We can imagine Lady Sogyal who has been with Guru Rinpoche since the age of 8, having doubts, and then the serene Guru emphasizing the essence of the practice. This teaching, therefore, is meant for both beginner students as well as advanced students. If a great lady like her could have doubts despite years of practice, despite years of accomplishment, then you and I also need not feel embarrassed to ask questions to our teachers at any stage of our journey. She'd been with Guru Rinpoche from the age of 8. She was herself a great yogini, and yet she asks him, kindly give me the essence of the instructions, condensing all teachings into one in a way that is concise and easy to practice. And then Guru Rinpoche replies, devoted one with a faithful and virtuous mind, listen to me. Although there are many profound key points of body, rest free and relaxed as you feel complete. Everything is included in simply that. Although there are many key points of speech, such as breath control and mantra and recitation, stop speaking and rest like a mute. Everything is included in simply that. Although there are many key points of mind, such as concentrating, relaxing, projecting, dissolving, focusing inward, everything is included in simply letting it rest in its natural state, free and easy, without fabrication. The mind doesn't remain quietly in that state. If one wonders, is it nothing? Like haze in the heat of the sun, it still shimmers and flashes forth. But if one wonders, is it something? It has no color or shape or identity. It is utterly empty and completely awake. That is the nature of your mind. Having recognized it as such, to become certain about it, that is the view. To remain undistracted in the state of stillness, without fabrication, without fixation, that is meditation. In that state, to be free from clinging or attachment, accepting or rejecting, hope or reward, toward any of the experiences of your six senses, that is action. So I don't know how many of you got this, but he just summarized all the teaching in one paragraph. The view, the meditation, and the action. The view is the initial recognition of the way things are, distinguishing the contents of your experience from the fact of your experience, awareness itself. To recognize that this awareness has no color, no shape, no identity. It is entirely empty and yet completely awake. And that is the nature of your mind. To glimpse that, to get that, is the view. To remain undistracted in the view, in that state of stillness, without fabrication, without fixation, this is meditation. From that state, to be free from clinging, attachment, accepting, rejecting, toward any experiences of the six senses, this is action. This is the holy life. The view, the meditation, and the action. And then Padmasambhava continues. Whatever doubt or hesitation occurs, supplicate your master. Don't remain in places of ordinary people. Practice in seclusion. Give up your clinging to whatever you are most attached to, as well as to whomsoever you have the strongest bond with in this life, and practice like that. Although your body remains in human form, your mind is equal to the Buddha's. At the time of dying, you should practice as follows. By earth dissolving in water, the body becomes heavy and cannot support itself. By water dissolving in fire, the mouth and nose dry up. By fire dissolving in wind, body heat disappears. By wind dissolving in consciousness, one cannot but exhale with a rattle and inhale with a gasp. At that time, the feeling of being pressed down by a huge mountain, being trapped within darkness, or being dropped into the expanse of space occur. All these experiences are accompanied by thunderous and ringing sounds. The whole sky will be wildly, vividly bright, like an unfurled brocade. Moreover, the natural forms of your mind, the peaceful, wrathful, semi-wrathful deities, and the ones with various heads will fill the sky within a dome of rainbow lights. Brandishing weapons, they will utter, beat, beat, kill, kill, hung, hung, fut, fut, and other fierce sounds. In addition, there will be light like 100,000 suns shining at once. At this time, your innate deity will remind you of awareness, saying, don't be distracted, don't be distracted. Your innate demon will disturb all your experiences, make them collapse, and utter sharp and fierce sounds that confuse you. At this point, know this. The feeling of being pressed down is not that of being pressed by a mountain. It is your own element dissolving. Don't be afraid of that. The feeling of being trapped within darkness is not a darkness. It is your 5 faculties, sense faculties dissolving. The feeling of being dropped into the expanse of space is not being dropped. It is your mind without support, because your body and mind have separated and your breathing has stopped. All experiences of rainbow lights are the natural manifestations of your mind. All the peaceful and wrathful forms are the natural forms of your mind. All sounds are your own sounds. All lights are your own lights. Have no doubt about that. If you do feel doubt, you will be thrown into samsara. Having resolved this to be self-display, if you rest wide awake in luminous emptiness, then simply in that you will attain the 3 kayas, and become enlightened. The 3 kayas are Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, and Dharmakaya. These are the teachings of enlightened in this body, enlightened in the subtle body, and enlightened in the causal body. Even if you are cast into samsara, you won't go anywhere. Your innate deity is taking hold of your mind with undistracted mindfulness. From this moment, it is very important to be without any hope and without any fear, without any clinging and without any fixation. Have no interest in the objects of your 6 sense faculties. Do not be fascinated. Do not be happy. Do not be sad. From now on, if you attain stability, you will be able to assume your natural state in the bardo. Bardo is the in-between, passing state, the in-between state, between life and death, and between death and the other life. And you will be enlightened. Therefore, the most vital point is to sustain your practice undistractedly from this very moment. The innate demon is your present tendency for ignorance, your doubt, your hesitation. At that time, whatever fearful phenomena appear, such as sounds, colors, lights, don't be fascinated. Don't doubt. Don't be afraid. If you fall into doubt for even a moment, you will wander in samsara, so gain complete stability. At this point, the womb entrances appear as celestial palaces. Don't be attracted to them. Be certain of that. Be free from hope. Be free from fear. There's no doubt that you will then become enlightened without taking further rebirths. At that point, it is not that one is helped by a Buddha. Your own awareness is primordially enlightened. It is not that one is harmed by the hells. Fixation being naturally purified, fear of samsara and hope for nirvana are both cut from the root. Becoming enlightened can be compared to water cleared of sediments, gold cleared of impurities, sky cleared of clouds. Having attained the space like Dharmakaya for the benefit of oneself, you will accomplish the benefit of sentient beings as far as space pervades. Having attained Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya for the welfare of others, you will benefit sentient beings as far as your mind pervades phenomena. If this instruction is given 3 times to a great sinner, such as one who has killed his own parents, he will not fall into samsara, even if thrown there. There is no doubt about becoming enlightened. Even if you have many other profound teachings, without an instruction like this, you may remain far away, since you don't know where you may wander next. So practice this with perseverance. You should give this oral instruction to recipients who have great faith, strong diligence, who are intelligent, who remember their teacher, who have confidence in the oral instructions, who exert themselves in the practice, who are stable-minded, and who are able to give up concerns for this world. Give them this with the master's seal of entrustment, the Yidam seal of secrecy, and the Dakkini seal of entrustment. Although I, Padmakara, have followed many masters for 3,600 years, and I have requested instructions, received teachings, studied and taught and meditated and practiced, I have not found any teaching more profound than this. I'm going to tame the Rakshasas. You should practice like this. Mother, you will become enlightened in the celestial realm. Therefore, persevere in this instruction. Having spoken, Guru Rinpoche mounted the rays of the sun and departed for the land of the Rakshasas. Following that, Lady Sogyal attained liberation. She committed this teaching to writing and concealed it as a profound treasure. She made this aspiration, in the future, may it be given to Guru Dorje Lingpa, may it then benefit many beings. This completes the sacred, refined essence instruction, the reply to questions on self-liberation at the moment of death and in the bardo. Samaya, seal, seal, seal. So this is the Therma teaching. That means the Therma teaching is a teaching that is revealed at a later time. Guru Rinpoche was a master at hiding teachings inside the consciousness of his disciples, who would then awaken to those teachings at a later time, in a later incarnation. So this seems to be one of those teachings that was, Lady Sogyal has hidden this teaching, and it awakens at a future time to someone called Guru Dorje Lingpa. This is what's fascinating about Guru Rinpoche. If you've heard of a book called the Tibetan Book of the Dead, that is also a Therma. It is like you can consider it like a zip file, which is not available until it gets unzipped. So it's a teaching that gets unzipped in the consciousness of a particular disciple called a Terton. And so how remarkable, how beautiful, how profound. Whether or not you understood much of what I read, it still has its energetic imprint that it's created on you and in you. And the main teaching he's giving us is even at the horrifying time of death, when everything seems to be, and he explains it so powerfully, the way he says it. He talks about how earth dissolving in water, the body becomes heavy and cannot support itself. Water dissolving in fire, the mouth and nose dry up. Fire dissolving in wind, body heat disappears. Wind dissolving in consciousness, one cannot but exhale with a rattle and inhale with a gasp. If you've ever been close to a dying person, you can probably recognize some of these signs. At that time, there is a feeling of being pressed down by a huge mountain, being trapped within darkness, being dropped into the expanse of space. All these experiences are accompanied by thunderous, ringing sounds. The whole sky will be vividly bright, like an unfurled brocade. Your mind will be filled with peaceful, wrathful, semi-wrathful deities. They will be brandishing weapons, and they will utter all kinds of fierce sounds. You will have a feeling of 100,000 suns shining at once. At this point, know this: the feeling of being pressed down is not that of a mountain. It is your own elements dissolving. Don't be afraid of that. The feeling of being trapped within darkness is not a darkness. It is your five sense faculties dissolving. The feeling of being dropped into the expanse of space is not being dropped. It is your mind without support, because your body and mind have separated and your breathing has stopped. All experiences of rainbow lights are the natural manifestations of your own mind. All the peaceful and wrathful forms are the natural forms of your mind. All sounds are your own sounds. All lights are your own lights. Do not doubt this. Having resolved this to be a self-display, rest wide awake in luminous emptiness, and then simply in that, you will attain the three kayas and you will become enlightened. Even if you are cast into samsara, you will not go there. Your innate deity is your present, taking hold of your mind with undistracted mindfulness. From this moment, be without hope, be without fear, be without clinging, be without fixation. Have no fascination toward the objects of your six senses. Have no happiness, have no sorrow. Attain stability. Therefore, the most vital point is to sustain your practice undistractedly from this very moment. To know that who you really are has no shape, no color, no identity. It is entirely empty and yet completely awake. This is the nature of your mind. To recognize the nature of your mind, to be certain of it, this is the view. To remain undistracted in this view, this is meditation. And from this state, to be free of clinging, attachment, accepting, rejecting, hope, fear, towards any experience, this is action. So here's the distillation of the teachings: the view, the meditation, and the action. Devoted one, with a faithful and virtuous mind, listen to me. Although there are many profound points of the body, rest free, relaxed, as you feel comfortable. Everything is included in that. Buddhism has three main things: body, speech, and mind. So he's saying for the body, although there can lot can be said about the body, he's saying rest free, relaxed, as you feel comfortable. Everything is included in that. Speech. Although there are many key points of speech, such as breath control, mantra, recitation, stop speaking. Rest like a mute. Everything is included in simply that. Although there are many key points of mind, such as concentrating, relaxing, projecting, dissolving, focusing inward, everything is included in simply letting it rest in its natural state, free and easy, without fabrications. So you don't have to feel that it is hard for you to understand this, because you're going to get a lot of help. If you have an affinity for these teachings or even an interest in these teachings, all you have to do is invoke Guru Rinpoche, Ong Ahong, Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hong, or the Tibetan way of saying it, Om Ahong, Bengza Guru Padma Siddhi Hong. And just like my friend who had a dream in which Padmasambhava appeared and showed her this rainbow-like hummingbird, the fact that you are here on this YouTube or Zoom call or recording or Instagram, wherever, the fact that you're here, it's not an accident. You think you chose to be here? I don't think so. Padmasambhava chose for you to be here. So it's the grace of Padmasambhava that you have listened, and despite some technical glitches on Zoom, where it crashed twice, my computer never happens today, first time. 2 times during a call, it crashed. It started all over again. So despite that, that was probably to shake out the less diligent ones. They left the call. And the rest of you stayed on the call all the way to the end. So just know that just to be here and to be hearing this itself is a great blessing. And The moment of our death, there'll be a great reckoning, isn't it? There'll be a great reckoning. This precious opportunity we were given, how have we used it? In that great reckoning, this moment, this whatever, half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever time, this is going to be standing out like a golden jewel. This is going to be standing out like a great diamond. Wow. At least for a few moments in this lifetime, I was willing to face the truth of my own mortality, that all these elements of this body will dissolve, all these sense faculties will dissolve, and pretty much everything I know and love and hold on to and identify with and define myself by, all of it's going to dissolve. And yet, the stability of who I really am is unaffected by that. I am the sky without clouds. I am the gold without impurities. I am. I am. And from Dharmakaya, which is the sky-like expanse of who you are, emerges the Sambhogakaya, the bliss body. And from the bliss body emerges the Nirmanakaya. And you simultaneously appear in every corner of the universe, soothing the pain of the parts of you that have forgotten. Soothing the pain of the parts of you that don't remember. A part of us is forever arriving, and a part of us is never left. This is the crazy paradox. Infinite blessings, infinite violet flame blessings, rainbow body blessings, infinite blessings of Padmasambhava with all of you. Take a moment to be quiet. Om Aham Bang Zaguru Padma Siddhi Hum. 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 Om Aham Bang Zaguru Padma Siddhi. Om Aham Vajra Guru Padma Siddhi Hum. 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 Nice shaking up of your Buddha nature today. Very nice. Nice shaking up. Nice dusting the superficial distortions. Nice rousing of your Dharmakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. Beautiful, everybody. Be well, be well, be well. Take rest. Take rest.